Have you ever been trapped waiting in a doctor's office or stuck on a long plane flight with nothing to do? And you wish you'd brought your favorite book to read, but you left it at home? Well, with Apple Books, you've got an entire library in the palm of your hands. Want to learn how to make the most out of it? Stick around. I got you covered. I'm Dylan Stewart, the MacWhisperer, and in this video we're going to learn all about Apple Books, how to use it, how to organize it, and how to make the most out of it. Make sure to stick around for my MacWhisperer Power Tip, where I reveal a powerful tool that will help you organize your own PDFs using Apple Books. Trust me, this is big. How about we check this book out of the library and get started? When you first open up Apple Books, you're going to notice a bunch of tabs at the bottom. The first tab is the Home tab, and the Home tab shows you any books or audiobooks that you're in the middle of. Up here, you'll see I finished the source, but I just started Adjustment Day. This is an easy way to get right back into a book that you're in the middle of. Scrolling down, you'll find the Want to Read section. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but it's an easy place for you to put any books you've heard about that you're interested in. Scrolling down a little further, you'll find some suggestions of other books you may want to read based on authors you've already read. If you move one tab over to the right, you'll find yourself in the Library section. The Library section is where you'll find all your books and audiobooks and PDFs. Up at the top, you'll notice the Collections option. Clicking that will take you to this page, which shows separate sections for your entire library. You can see just your books by clicking right here. Or I can see all of my audiobooks by clicking right here. There are a ton of options here, including collections of books I want to read, books that I've finished, samples for books that I'm interested in, and there's even a section for the downloaded books that I've downloaded locally to this device. That means that I can read them without needing an internet connection. This is a great way to organize your library, and we'll talk more about it in a few moments. Moving one more tab over to the right, we find ourselves in the Bookstore. Up at the top, you'll see some trending options, some featured collections, limited time offers. If you scroll down, you'll see suggestions customized for you based on the books you've purchased. You can find books that are on the top of the charts or other suggestions. Whatever book you're looking for, you can easily find it here, either by taking their suggestions or heading up to the sections area here, which breaks the entire bookstore down into separate categories. Looking for the latest books? Click on New and Trending. Want a great book for your book club? Check out the Book Club section. You can find any kind of book that you're looking for, from top of the charts, suggestions, or specific genres like biographies or even comics and graphic novels. But you don't have to search endlessly. If you click on the Search tab at the far right, you can type in the name of any author or book that you're interested in. And right here, I've got tons of books from Chuck Palahniuk, one of my favorite authors, and I can look into any one of these books without even purchasing it. If I click on the book, I'll get an option to download a sample for that book or to save this book for my later collection. I'm going to click on the sample right here. This automatically opens up a sample of the book, allowing me to get a basic taste of what this book is going to feel like before even purchasing it. If I like it, I can always purchase it. If I don't, I can keep the sample or I can delete it. Let's tap on the screen and click the X in the upper right-hand corner to exit the reading view. Now let's click the X in the top left corner to get out of this suggestion and back to our search. When you find the book you want, you can purchase it and it'll charge it to your Apple account and download it right onto your device. Coming one tab over to the right, we find ourselves in the Audiobook store. The Audiobook store will give you access to all sorts of audiobooks, and by clicking on sections at the top, you can find any kind of audiobook, any genre, or any style that you're looking for. You know, a lot of people have started using Audible for audiobooks. Audible is owned by Amazon, and it's a great place to get audiobooks, but Audible likes to sell you a subscription. The subscription costs $20 a month and gives you access to 2 audiobooks. But most people don't read 2 audiobooks every month, and so your credits tend to stack up and you feel trapped inside of this Audible subscription. Instead of that, inside of Apple Books, you can purchase audiobooks one at a time instead of getting trapped in that subscription. And again, in the bottom right corner, we've got our search tab. You can scroll through their suggestions and you'll find some of the trending options that other people are searching for. Maybe we should check out this book, The Nightingale. It opens it right up here, allowing me to tap onto it and get a sample or purchase it by clicking the price over to the right. If we scroll a little farther down, we'll even see that there's an audiobook option, and we can either get a preview of that audiobook or just purchase it. And suddenly, it's so simple to get any book or audiobook that you want downloaded to your iPhone, your iPad, or your computer. Now let's check out what it looks like when you're reading a book inside of Apple Books. Let's click on Life's Golden Ticket up at the top. As soon as we click on it, it opens up full screen with the book right in front of me. And you can easily scroll up or down and read your book. But there's other options that exist right inside the app. To find them, tap on the screen. As soon as you do, you'll see this icon in the lower right-hand corner, and clicking on it will give you all sorts of options. First off, we've got the contents section. By clicking here, it will show you all of the separate chapters of this book and allow you to jump between them at will. If you'd like to skip past chapter 1 and 2 and jump right to chapter 3, just tap on it. In addition to the contents section, you've also got an option to search for any word or phrase inside of the book. Here, I'm going to type the word best. Immediately, it shows me every single page that has the word best in it. And I can scroll through these options and click on any one of the options to be taken directly to that page where we can see the word best has been highlighted up at the top. This makes it so easy to find a particular phrase or a particular section of any book. Let's tap on the screen again and come back to our options. And here we have an option called Themes and Settings. Themes and Settings gives you all sorts of tools about how your book reading experience is going to look. Let's tap on it and find out. Up at the top, we've got the option to make the text bigger or smaller by clicking on these A's here. Click on the smaller A and everything will get tiny. Click on the bigger A and it will get bigger and bigger and bigger. To the right of that, we've got options about how we turn our pages in this book. Let's click on it to take a look. You'll see 4 separate options: slide, curl, fast fade, and scroll. I'm currently set on scroll. What scroll means is that when you're looking at the book, you don't actually have to turn the pages. You just scroll on the book in the same way you would when you were looking at a website or an email. Just continue to scroll and read page after page without ever swiping to go to the next page. If we click here and change this to the slide option, things are going to look a little different. Let's click the X and take a look. In the slide option, when I want to go from one page to the next, I'm swiping from the left or the right side of my screen like this. And when I do, it slides one page out of the way and brings me to the next page. But there's still other options. We'll tap on our screen, go back to Options, back to Themes and Settings, and this time, instead of slide, let's try the curl option. Clicking here as I swipe, it looks like I'm turning an actual page. Look at that graphic. It feels like I've got a piece of paper in my hand and I'm actually going page by page through the book. But there's one more option for us to check. Tap your screen, go back to Options, back to Themes and Settings, and here we've got Fast Fade. Fast Fade also requires me to swipe on the left or the right, but it doesn't have the fancy graphics. It just fades from one to the next to the next. So whichever setting you like best, go into your Themes and Setting, click here, and choose it. For me, I prefer the scroll option because I'm usually reading my book one-handed, and it's very hard to flip from page to page that way, but scrolling is a piece of cake. To the right of that, we've got the option for dark mode or light mode. Clicking on this button here will allow you to match your device's settings or force Apple Books to go into the dark mode or force Apple Books to be in light mode. You can also click right here and have it match your surrounding light, which means when you're in bright light, it's going to make the screen darker, and when you're in dark light, it's going to make it brighter, making it easy for you to have a perfect book reading experience whether you're out at the beach in bright sunlight or in bed next to your spouse trying not to wake them up. We've also got the option to change the brightness of our book. Pulling it more to the left, we can see that it uses less light. Again, that might be a great setting so you don't wake up your partner in bed. But if you're having a hard time seeing the screen, just tug that bar over to the right until it looks perfect. Down below that, we've also got several different themes. You'll see them here: original, quiet, paper, bold, calm, and focus. Clicking on any one of those will change the way the book looks. Let's click on the calm option. Notice that the background is now sepia tone, and it's got a nice light font. If I go into the quiet mode, notice that the background becomes dark and the words are very light and easy to read. If I go into the bold mode, it's got a white background and all of the text is now bold. In the paper mode, it looks like reading a book with actual print type and a slightly faded color on the background. Pick whichever one you like best, but if you don't love any of them, you can even click the Customize section here and make up your own preset. Down below Themes and Settings, we have 4 other tools. In the bottom left, we've got the Share option. This is a great option if you're reading a book that you want to share with somebody else. Simply tap that Share button and send them a text or email with a link to this book. And to the right of that, we've got the rotation locks. This can allow your book to change from landscape to portrait mode when you turn your phone, or it can prevent it from changing. I tend to read books on my side while in bed, so I tend to turn this off. Simply clicking on it will lock the rotation so that even when I'm lying in a funny position, the book isn't flipping from portrait view to landscape view. When the rotation lock is turned on, it's black. And next to the rotation lock, we have something called the line guide. And the line guide can make it easier for you to stay focused on the text that you're reading. By clicking on the line guide, it will focus on the next line that you're reading. And by tapping anywhere on the screen, it will move from line to line to line, making it easy to stay focused on what you're reading. I'm not a big fan of the line guide, but you can play around with it. You'll notice the line guide option in the lower left corner once it's enabled. Tapping on the line guide will allow you to turn it off. Let's click back on our screen and back into our options. To the far right side, we've got the option to bookmark any page. When you bookmark a page, it makes it easy to locate that exact page at a later point. So let's bookmark this page, just like that. You notice the little bookmark tag in the lower right-hand corner, and this page has now been saved and captured. And one of the other great tools that you can use in Apple Books is called highlighting or notating. It's very easy to do. Simply press and hold on any part of the text and roll your fingers along the words you want to highlight or notate. The difference between highlighting and notating is that highlight will give it a color, and you can choose any color you want. This will make it easy to find this part of the book later. On top of being able to highlight the text, you can also add a note to the text. So if you're reading a book and you have a great idea about something you want to follow up around, or a part of the book that you loved and you want to make sure it's easy to find it later, simply press and hold on that section, select the entire section, and choose where it says Add Note. Here you can type your note in and add any information that you need. When you're done adding your note, click the Done button in the upper right-hand corner. You'll notice this little notation icon at the top of that text. Tapping on it will open your note right up, making it easy for you to take notes on a certain passage and find them quickly. When you start bookmarking, highlighting, and notating a book, there's an easy way to find those highlights, those notes, and those bookmarks. And for that, we're going to tap on the screen again, bring back up our settings, and notice that we have a brand new section called Bookmarks and Highlights. Let's click on it. In this section, on the left tab, we see the bookmarks we made. There's our bookmark on Chapter 17, page 365. But if we come over to the right tab here and click on Highlights, we'll see the text that we highlighted, including the note that we added to it. I've been reading some really amazing books lately, and I've been taking tons of notes and highlighting and bookmarking all sorts of sections. Then when I'm complete with the book, I go into this area and I copy and paste all of those separate sections onto a note so that I can remember exactly what was important about that book and where the pages are that I want to reference at a later point. It's a great tool and it makes Apple Books so powerful. Now let's talk about audiobooks. We're going to come into our library section here, go up to the collections, and choose just the audiobooks. Clicking on any of your audiobooks will open them up into this full screen. Right up here, we've got the option to download this book so you don't need Wi-Fi. We've also got the ability to scroll through different sections of the book by pulling on this little bar here. We can also back up by 15 seconds at a time by clicking here, or go forward by 15 seconds at a time. In addition to all of those tools, in the lower right-hand corner, we've got the option to go through all of the separate sections of this audiobook, allowing us to jump to track 6 without having to go all the way through it. On the far left side, we've got the option to change the playback speed. Maybe the narrator is moving too fast. Simply turn the speed down a little bit. Or maybe this narrator is just taking his time and you want to read quicker. Turn the speed up a little bit, making sure that you can listen at the speed that you like. And to the right of the playback tool is the snooze tool. Ever listen to a book and fall asleep while listening to it, and next thing you know, you're 18 chapters deep and you don't know what happened? You can set the sleep mode up to turn off the book at an hour, 30 minutes, or when the current chapter ends. This makes sure that you're not going to fall asleep and miss the good part. And one more tool over to the right is our AirPlay tool. Tapping on this will send the audio to speakers, headphones, HomePods, or even your Apple TV. So you can sit down and listen to an audiobook at your preferred speed, skip around if you want, set up the sleep mode, and so much more. As we spoke about, in the library section up at the top is this section called Collections. Tapping on it gives you a ton of different choices. You've got a section for books that you want to read, for books that you've finished, a section for just the books versus just the audiobooks, a section to find any PDFs you've added, and if you haven't added any PDFs, don't miss the power tip. It's going to teach you how to use that tool perfectly. You've even got a section for all of your samples, any books you've downloaded, and more. Down at the bottom, you can create your own collections. Click on the New Collection button here and choose any name. Maybe this is a place where I can save all of my favorite books in one place. Clicking Done saves that collection just like that. Now let's step into the Books section here so I can show you how to use the collections. To the right of each of your books, you're going to find these 3 dots. Clicking on these 3 dots brings up a ton of different options. You can share the book, you can add it to your Want to Read section, or you can add it to any one of your collections. Simply clicking here will bring up all of the different choices, allowing you to take that book and put it right into your faves, just like that. Let's click back on the 3 dots and see what else is under there. Here we've got the ability to mark a book as still reading, to edit the date you finished a book, to view that book inside of the bookstore, to rate and review that book, or to suggest more like this book or less like this book. In addition to collections, there's lots of other tools you can use to organize your book library. Clicking on the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, you can choose between the list view and the grid view, which shows the images with much more clarity and detail. Let's go back to our 3 dots. We can also sort our library manually, or by the most recent books at the top, or by title or by author. A simple click will change that sort and reorganize your entire library just like that. And if you'd like to organize multiple books into one of your collections, you don't have to do it one at a time. You can click the 3 dots right here and choose the Select option. Now you can click on any books that you want, and by using the button at the bottom that says Add To, you can put all those books into one collection at the same time, making it easy for you to create perfect collections and organize your books in any way that you like. Clearly, Apple Books is a powerhouse. It lets you purchase books or audiobooks right from the palm of your hands. It lets you sort and organize in all sorts of powerful ways, and it even allows you to notate, highlight, or bookmark the book that you're reading so you can find those parts in the future. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to reveal my MacWhisperer Power Tip, teaching you how to use Apple Books to organize all of your PDFs. Yep, I know it sounds crazy, but it's a powerful tool. But before I do, if you got great value from this video, give it a thumbs up. That makes it so much easier for other people to find it. And if you've got a comment, a question, or you'd love to tell me about the book you're reading and make a recommendation, drop it into the comments section. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, subscribing is like adding a book directly to your bookshelf, except it's a book you're actually going to read with powerful knowledge that's going to help you make your Apple devices work better than ever before. Go ahead, flip that book open, hit that subscribe button and that notify bell so you're always alerted whenever I drop new content. So with that being said, shh, we're in the library. Let's keep our voices down or everyone's going to need to know about the power tip. All right, we've covered reading, listening, purchasing, and organizing your books. But the real powerhouse of Apple Books is how it organizes your PDFs. If you've got stacks of PDFs that you're constantly trying to find and locate, you need to reference them quickly, maybe you've put them into Notes and realized Notes doesn't work so well for large PDFs. Maybe you've got a collection of SmartGuides from the MacWhisperer and you're wondering what you should do with them. Well, it's easy. Apple Books to the rescue. The first thing we need to answer is, how do you add your PDFs into Apple Books? Now, we happen to be on the phone right now. In a few moments, I'm going to go over to my computer and show you what it looks like over there. But it's not hard to do from the phone. When you get a PDF, it generally comes in as an email attachment, as something you downloaded off the web, or as something you're pulling out of your Files app. Any way it comes in, you're going to share it to Apple Books in the exact same way. For this example, I'm going to go into Files where I've got a number of PDFs I'd like to add. Let's swipe out of Apple Books, open up the Files app right here. And in my Favorites section, I've got a folder called Smart Guides. Clicking on here, I have all of these PDF Smart Guides that I've created. Now let's get them in Apple Books. The first thing that you want to do is tap on the PDF to open it up. Once it's open, click your Share button in the lower left-hand corner here. From there, you'll see tons of different apps that you can share this PDF to. If you scroll across them to the right, you should see Books. But if you don't worry. Go to the More section on the right here. Click on the Edit button on the top right here and scroll down until you find Apple Books. There it is. Now click the plus button on it. That will add it into that list. If you scroll up to the top here, you can also reorganize it. If you're going to be using Apple Books a lot, you might want to put it all the way up the top right there. Let's click Done, and Done again in the upper left corner. And now, on our list here is Books. So as soon as I've clicked the Share button, I can click right on this Books option here, and it will take that PDF and add it directly into Apple Books, where I can easily read it, mark it up, notate it, bookmark certain sections, or add it to any one of my collections. Let's do that again. I'm going to swipe up, go back to Files, and here I'm going to add my iOS 18 Calendar Smart Guide. One simple tap opens it up. Clicking on the Share button on the bottom left opens up this screen. There's Books right where we put it. Let's click on it, and it copies it into Apple Books. And again, from right here, if I tap on it, I've got the ability to bookmark it in the upper right-hand corner, just like that. I can change the fonts on it. I can even press the markup tool up here in order to quickly annotate this PDF, whether it's a script that I'm reading that I want to take notes on, or a smart guide that has stuff I want to highlight. In addition to that, on the left side, you'll see this button. Clicking here will show you all of the pages of that PDF, allowing you to jump to the page you need easily and quickly. Trust me, I have been looking for a great place to store my smart guides, and I found it with Apple Books. Now, before we finish up this lesson, let's hop over to the computer to see how Apple Books looks on your computer. Remember, Apple Books synchronizes between your iPad, your phone, and your computer, making sure that you've got all the books you need wherever you are. I'm going to come down onto my dock right here. Here's Apple Books, and I'm going to open it up. Coming right into my book section down here, we can pick up from where we left off on any one of these books. Simply double-clicking on it will open it right up, and notice right here, it even captured our highlights and our notes. Let's come up to the top corner and close that book. And now let's step into the PDF section on the left side. And here we're going to notice the smart guides that we added right here. Apple Books works great on all of your devices, but the plus to doing it on your computer is it makes it so much easier to add your own PDFs in or to organize things in different collections. I'm going to go to my Finder and open up my Smart Guides. Instead of on the phone or on the iPad where you can only send one PDF to the Apple Books app at a time, I can select every PDF I've got in this folder and drag it right in, and it will immediately start adding them into my books collection, making it easy for me to find my Smart Guides or my PDFs wherever I am in the world. Now that you know how to use Apple Books, you'll never be stuck with nothing to do ever again. So that's what we've got for today's lesson, all about how to make the most out of Apple Books. I hope you learned a ton, but remember, there's always more to learn. Check out this video right here for even more amazing tips and tricks on how to make your Apple products work perfectly. I'm Dylan Stewart, the Mac Whisperer, and I'll see you in the comments.